Okay, welcome back. So following on from the last video, I'm going to continue on with this scene. And as I said in the last video, there's a few bits and pieces we still have to do. These shelves, this little section here, and we're just going to kind of take a guess at what the wall's going to look like. I'm just going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to move this X. I'm going to move this into the other corner, just to get that ready. So I'm just going to overlap this. Yeah, by about that amount. Doesn't have to overlap too much. Just want it to overlap a little bit. So that post is definitely in the room. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Okay, so this little wall we've got in between, we can adjust this as well, because the roof part here, and let's just zoom in on that. The roof part here actually goes a little bit higher on this side, so I'm going to take that up to around about here. Let's have a look. Now this actually goes up below. I think this part actually just drops down, so I think this roof part actually should go right to the top. Yeah, I think that's about right actually. Now, just for simplicity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, I'm going to duplicate it, I'm going to go to edit mode. Actually, you should go to object mode first and just move this back. Move this back on X. I'm just going to kind of line these up. So this is just going to continue on, basically here. I also want to duplicate this. I'm going to do the same thing again, just move this back. I'm going to line this up at the back wall, because I do want this one little section in here. Now this looks a little bit strange here. Now I see why it's a little bit strange. That one doesn't have a back face on it. I'm just going to move this one into place instead. I don't want it overlapping too much. Okay, so I'm going to keep just this section here. I'm going to invert and delete all these faces. So I just want that one part. And I'm going to do the same here essentially. I'm just going to add in an edge loop on this. So we'll go to edit mode. Edge loop, you can actually see that we have a bunch of edge loops on this. Yeah, we'll take that there. I'm going to edge split this. That lets me just select off one part of this and increase the selection until we get it all. Delete that off. Now we have this little bit of ceiling here, and it saves us creating that from scratch. We can just basically duplicate that in. So you can see we've got that extra little bit of ceiling in there. That's just a really quick way of doing that. Now I want to give this a little bit of thickness now. I'm just going to select that all and just extrude this in a little bit. Doesn't have to be too exact. Let's see, okay, what do we need to do now? Right, I want to create this little step. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to duplicate this. And one thing you'll see, I'm going to be reusing things over and over and over again. Any little piece of wood that I've already unwrapped and textured, if I can use it again instead of creating it again, instead of creating the same thing 2, 3, 4 times, then that's what I'm going to do. There's really no point in creating something new if you've already created it before. I'm going to create a little plane in here. I'm going to go to edit mode. I'm just going to move this face along so that it lines up here, or this edge along. I'm going to extrude this up a little bit. I'm going to extrude that in Z to there. I'm going to grab this edge all the way along. Just move this back to here. Grab this edge all the way. Move that back to in here. This face at the bottom we can get rid of. Now we have this one little face. Grab this out, and I'm just going to extrude this to the edge of the mat. Now on the top of this mat is just overlapping. I'm also going to move it up a little bit so it's just sitting on top of this. Okay, so I think I'm actually pretty good with that. Let's select this again. What I do want to do is just grab this bottom face and move this down. so it's below the mat. And let's just grab the whole thing and move it back so it just lines up with the edge of the mat. So you can see a little bit of ambient occlusion there where it's just not intersecting, which is definitely preferable than having it actually intersect. Again, we're going to have a little gap down the bottom there. What I think I'll do to avoid that is I'll just grab this face and move this all the way back, just to fill that section in there. The bottom and the back and the side faces, we could probably just get rid of those if we wanted to, but I'm not going to bother just now. I just want to hide this, and I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go to object mode. I'm going to grab this wall, grab this face. I think I'm going to move this a little bit as well, just to thicken this up. It should be a lot thicker. Maybe grab this face and just maybe move it slightly. Okay, I think I'm actually pretty happy with that. Okay, so the back wall, we need the back wall now. Again, we can just reuse something. We'll just grab this. We have to duplicate it first, obviously. We'll rotate it 90 degrees in Z. And one issue with creating a lot of stuff or editing a lot of stuff and moving it around in edit mode is that your origin always ends up being in the middle of the scene. That can be a little bit annoying. You can always just change your origin points later on if that gets really annoying. So let's move this out to here. I do want it a little bit past where it should be, just because you're not going to see that. You're not going to see any seams. Anything that we need to cut down or anything later on, we can just do that with edge loops. There's no problem at all with that. Let's see, next section we want to do. Okay, so we have a little section here. We have this whole window section. So this whole window section is pretty interesting. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see we've got a part of frame there. We've got a main post here. Probably a main post here. It's really hard to tell. And this, and we have a bunch of boxes. Everything apart from this interior window, we're just going to box in, just simply with boxes. Now we already have some posts that we can use. So I'm just going to duplicate this across. I'm going to jump in so we have our arrows, and we're actually going to set the origin to the geometry, just so this is all a little bit easier. So I'm going to move this across. Let's see, if I look at this, I think it's probably to about there. I'm going to say to about there. I'm going to duplicate this again. I want another one on the outside. It's a little bit smaller, but we'll adjust this by just scaling this in the Z plane. And we'll box that in properly in a moment. Some of these details, I have to admit, are not going to be seen. A lot of this, in fact, is just going to be blurred out in the background. But what I say is, if you can do something really well the first time, if you need to actually show it in the final version, you don't have to go and remodel it. Or you don't have to do a lot of adjustments to it, because you've already pretty much done it to the kind of quality you would actually want. So what's happening here is, I think this should actually be a lot deeper. And looking at it, maybe this is actually quite a lot deeper than I originally thought. So yeah, I mean, there's things we can do to fix that, but again, as I've said throughout this process and in some of the other videos, some of this this modeling work I'm doing, it's kind of freeform. It's kind of just like, you know, do what you like. Don't get too hung up on tiny little details. Don't try and get every little bevel exactly the way it looks in the image. Don't get every little extrude exactly the way it looks in the image. Do what feels right, do what looks good, primarily. You know, you don't want to spend hours modeling something and then think, that doesn't actually look that great. Let's move this into place as well. So we've got another one of these. Again, I'm just going to quickly set the origin to the geometry. I'm going to try and get this a little bit filled out here. Move that up to here. Okay, so edit mode, top face. I'm going to bring this up to here. So this is the kind of backing part of this. As such, we don't need much thickness on this. Try thin part. Grab this face and just move it out a little bit. Duplicate this again. We're going to move it up. We are going to, well, I was going to attempt to snap it on there, but it's not liking me for some reason. Let's move that out. Let's move this down. Try and get this thickness more or less correct. Let's take that to about there. It's probably a little bit too thick. Let's see what we've got here. So again, we've got some posts. I can't really see what's happening in there, so I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to move this post in. Did we undo that? But we'd actually froze Blender there. We might have broke Blender. It's taking a moment to catch up. Okay. Things are slowing down quite a bit here. Now, if I look at this scene, we've only got 500,000 or a 250,000 faces here, 500,000 tries, so we shouldn't really be expecting too much slowdown here. Let's duplicate this. Let's move this back here. We're going to take that. We are going to duplicate this as well. Now, when I say I'm duplicating a lot of these, but once I texture one of these, I'm actually going to just replace a bunch of these with the same one. Okay, this part of wood, this piece of wood, I should say, we're going to duplicate that. We're going to rotate that 90 degrees and Y. Sounded a bit unsure there because I was actually a little bit unsure about where that was actually going to be. That's fine. Duplicate this again. Move this over to here. Put this where it should be. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Now, I'm worried about this because it looks like we actually have a face that's turned the wrong way. So let's go into edit mode. Let's check our normals here. No, they actually appear to be okay, that's fine. Okay, so our tatami mat doesn't go quite to the edge here. Not sure what I'm going to do to fix that. I guess we're going to have a gap. But what that does mean is we're going to have to just create another floor very quickly here. Because if there's one thing we don't want gaps in our scene where we see out to basically an infinite void of nothingness. Even if it's a tiny little gap like that, we might as well just fill it in. Let's grab this, let's roll this out to the side. We're going to go past where we actually need this to be, and that way we're covering all the bases. And that way we won't have any issues. Okay, so this window we are going to do in the next section, I think. What do we need to do for the ceiling part there? Again, it's just more of these planks, really. So it's really just take this, this, and this, duplicate them, rotate them 90 degrees, and Y this time. Move these across, line these up, make sure everything is overlapping where it should be. I think we need to move this down a little bit. Select those again. Where exactly do we want this overlapping? So this bit is actually a little bit tricky. Right, I see exactly what we're doing here. Now, if I didn't have that reference there, I'd just have to try and guess what's happening there. But now that I can see the reference, I can see exactly what I should be doing. Okay, so I need a post down here. Or not so much down here, but I need a post in there somewhere. Down here. And move this up. Again, a lot of this, I'm just kind of blocking in just now. Some of this I'm probably going to have to adjust a fair bit later on. Let's move this up to here. Let's make sure we're on verts. We are okay. So I want that to there. So yeah, I do have to extend some of these parts out a little bit. Now, I have to say I'm not too crazy about the shape of that part. I might have to go in and adjust that because it just doesn't seem right at all. But we'll leave that for the next video or for when we actually go to kind of refine this whole section and do all the texturing and everything. I've not really been shown that much texturing in these model a day videos, but we probably will in this one. Yeah, what I need to do is I need to go in and I need to adjust this model. So this is going to be the last thing I'll do in this video. So what I want to do is grab this face. I'm going to, okay, so what I want to do is I want to scale this in 0. And I want to do that in the y-axis and get that where it should be. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. And now I have a lot of edges from when I actually built this that I don't need anymore. So I'm just going to go in, just using Alt and Shift to select all these loops of edges that I no longer require. I'm just going to dissolve all those. Now I have some clean mesh. I'm going to fill in this face, see if we've got a face in the end, which we do. So I'm going to select both these faces, go to Edge mode, I'm going to select an edge, and I'm going to mark this seam. Then I'm going to basically do the same on the other one. In fact, to save a little bit of time, as you can probably suspect, what I'm going to do is select this whole thing here. I'm going to Shift D, duplicate, move this into place. Now it's important that I get this lined up pretty exact compared to this other version that I have. There we go. That's pretty good. Now I can just go in, grab one of these faces from the other one, and I can delete that. So now I have these two sections. Object mode, actually we should probably unwrap these, so let's just hit U, unwrap, we'll deselect, and now these parts are now basically fixed. We can do the same on these parts, but we'll wait until we need to later on. Let's see anything else we need to do here. Okay, we need a couple of little planes in here, so that shouldn't be too tricky. We're in edit mode, we'll go back to object mode. Couple of planes. Rotate 90 degrees in X. Edit mode. Edge mode, take these up to the top. Take these about here. Take that to here, take this to here, and just block in this plane. Let's go back to object mode. Just going to set that origin to the geometry and move this into where it should be, about here. Okay, we have this bit overlapping quite a bit. Just going to jump into edit mode. Move this face out. I'm going to try and snap it to a vert. Can't actually see a vert to snap onto. Let's see if we can do this now. No, we need transparent mode. Snap to this vert. There we go. Grab this one, snap to this vert. Oh, okay, so this is interesting. This is very interesting. If we just jump back here and we go to edit mode, transparent mode, we can actually see these normals are pointing inwards. So what we have to do here is actually select all of this mesh, normals, flip, and now those normals are pointing the correct way. So we probably have to do that for a bunch of these other ones as well. Yeah, these are all pointing inwards. So again, that's something that we can adjust later on. But again, that's another 20-minute or so long video. So we're going to come out of this just now. Let's just lock this camera to view and see what we've got in the scene here. So we've got this nice little clothing there. Still needs it all textured. And in the next video, let's go ahead and start building some of these little objects that sit in there.